All right, you guys. I want to go through this assignment just in case you were gone, so you understand what we're doing, because I think you will have a good time with it, and that's what we want to make sure that we do. All right. So here's the thing. This assignment is called Escape the Dark. I want to give you some background to it. We're going to end up doing something called Escape the Dark of St. Louis. And it should be fun. It's just going to be fun. I was thinking of it. I wanted to do an assignment. I like games. And this assignment has to do with a gaming system. This one that you see on the screen is Escape the Dark, The Last of Us, which is based off of that zombie show. There was another one that's called Escape the Dark Castle, which you're in a dungeon and you have to get out of a dark castle, and there's different aspects to it. And then Escape the Dark Sector, and that's what I'm going to use for examples. It's basically you're stuck in the middle of a space station, you're held prisoner, and then you try to get out of it. Now, there's different aspects to the game, and what I'm going to do is gather up all your different scenarios that you do, and we're going to do the game as a class and see how it goes. I think it should be fun. It gives us a chance to use some of our creative writing, and we'll see what the result is of it. So this is what it kind of basically looks like. You have a couple of characters, you have a card that gives you a scenario, and then there's items that people have in the game. And there's dice that people roll. That's what these little pieces are up here, are just die rolls for different outcomes in the game. Everybody has a character. And so, we'll be working with that too, where you get to decide who are going to be the characters in this story. Now, it's not like any other story because the characters in our story can pick up different items. They won't get the same items every time, but they pick them up. Like this one says power stem, and it says after rolling your dice before applying the result, you may change the result of the die, and that's kind of cool. And that's the game part. And then there's dice, of course, because it's a game and the dice are going to put some randomness to the game to see if you win or lose. That's kind of the fun part of it. This is the type of thing that you will get, though. Now, we're going to make up the cards for the game. For the space game, I'll read this to you. It says, you hurry around a bulkhead and collide with a pair of patrolling guards. They immediately open fire. You must roll 2 hit dice. Then, as a group, choose one option. Evade, you run, drawing further barrage of fire. All members of the crew must roll a hit die, or you can attack, and then you begin combat. And we're going to write these scenarios that could be anything, and we're going to try to apply it to, say, St. Louis, like things that we could be there when we're trying to get out of a bad situation to get safe, right? And so we're going to be making up cards, and we'll go through it as a class. And here's another example of the card. It says, blaring through the cell wall from the inside, a mysterious traveler steps out of the passage ahead. His arm cannon crackles with energy as he calmly scans you, evidently assuming your threat level. And it says, as a group, you can evade, and that means you have to discard one of the items you picked up, and then you can move on, or attack, right? And then you do combat. And so that's kind of the fun piece of that. So we move on. Again, another card. That's just another situation. Because after you do the first one, then you flip to the next one. And the idea is you try to get through all the scenarios so that you can escape the dark. Now, the Escape the Dark of St. Louis, what we'll be looking at is in the card here, you'll see that it has a picture with the scenario underneath it. So some kind of story. It doesn't always have to be combat. It can be you find a strange person and he's asking you if you want to gamble, and you figure out some sort of gambling game, or he has a strange drink. Do you drink it? Maybe it'll give you health, maybe not. And that's where you get, you put in the dice to roll. So you give it a choice with some possible outcomes. And you don't need to worry about the other things on here, the symbols and stuff. What I'll do is after I gather everybody's stuff, I will go through and make the system so that we can actually play it, so it fits for class and not just for like an individual play. And that's the scenario. And when you get done with that, the assignment is to write 5 of these cards to where you get a picture, then you get the stuff with it. If you are like, hey, this is pretty cool, and you want to do more, you can do more. You can also, we need additional parts for this game. We do need characters. Like, who's going to be in this game? Let's make up some people, right? And you can do that. We need items. like a ring. What's special about the ring? Maybe some weapons for the game, and we'll see how that goes. We need those cards made up as well as the big ones, and those would be like extra credit type type things. So as we go through it, that's what I want you to be thinking about for this assignment. That's the whole idea of it, is that we're going to try to escape the dark of St. Louis. All right. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me and all that kind of stuff. We want you to be able to get your assignment done, and good luck.